This is GrantTalk, hosted by Libby Hikind, founder and CEO of GrantWatch and the author of The Queen of Grants.
Hello, everybody. I'm Libby Hikind, and I am your host today on GrantTalk. Sitting with me right now is Rosaline Bangura.
Yes.
Have I gotten that right?
hmm
Okay. And she is from the B. Rose International Foundation.
Yes.
Yes. And she found a grant on GrantWatch, and she won. And we're going to hear from her today all about that. So, why don't you tell us about your organization?
So we are the Bay Rose International Foundation. We are a charity 501c nonprofit out of Annapolis, Maryland. And we also have offices in Sierra Leone, West Africa, and also Nigeria, West Africa. So we currently work in 3 countries. Um,
And do you provide services in all 3 countries?
yes, we do.
So, how has GrantWatch helped you?
So we have actually received a total of 7 different grants from GrantWatch since we registered with them. So it is actually one of our biggest grant sites, and I always recommend grant site to others because of what we have been able to gain from it. And with the grants that we have received, is actually paid for itself. The amount of money that GrantWatch charges you for the year, we have been able to get those funds just by one single grant that we have received, even though we have received multiple grants from this site.
Okay, tell us about that. You're making me really happy because I have worked since 2010 as the CEO and founder of GrantWatch, and just hearing this makes me cavell, if that's a word nowadays. It just gives me so much pleasure. So thank you.
You are welcome, and thank you for having GrantWatch. Because when we started our nonprofit, we really did not know how to get funding. We were getting money from friends and family who were supporting the organization. We actually started this organization because of Ebola. When Ebola started and people were dying, and my sister and I were sending money to Africa, but the money would not reach the people we needed it to reach to. So we wanted to put our organization on a platform where we can bring multiple people who can join with us and get the funding to the right people and not get the money misused. So I
Hmm.
will start with the very first grant we got from Grant Site, which was from the
GrantWatch.
DRI.
Okay.
Yes, with Grant Watch Site, which was from DRI Foundation. We have never heard about an organization called DRI, which is the Disaster Relief International, and they are based out of New York. They were the first people to actually give us a grant. And the very first grant they gave us was $1,000, and ever since.
That's the beginning. That's when you feel like, wow, we're in business, right?
Yes, because it's challenging to write grants. For every 20 grants you write, maybe one person will get you approved. So you can't give up. You have to just keep going. And
Right. And that's what I write about in the book. We published the book February 1st, and I tell that to people, don't get discouraged
don't
because
get discouraged. Right.
once you write a grant, you have all that material to put into the next grant,
Into the
right?
next grant, and all you have to do is edit,
Hmm.
for what the mission of the next company is looking for. But it gets better each time you write the grants. It gets
That's
better.
right.
So with the DRI Foundation, we had never heard of them, but they were disaster relief. And having Ebola at the time was a disaster for African
Yes.
countries. So they sent out the first grant for $1,000, and we're like, wow, we're really in business now, and we can do this. So we kept going. And then we got another grant from a company called, all of these companies, actually, with the exception of a few, we had never heard of them. This is another grant we received was from C&S Wholesale Grocers. Never heard of them.
Right. And which grocery store do they actually provide?
It's called
Are they called?
C&S, and I live in Maryland. I've never heard of it. I've
Right.
never seen it. And when we wrote for the grant, they sent us $350. So it wasn't a big grant, but like I said, the grants that we have received from GrantWatch has paid for itself.
Oh, many times it sounds like.
So it's
Because
definitely worth it.
a subscription for a year is $199,
$99. And then you get
199.
a grant for 350 that has already paid
Right.
for it. And then we had a grant for $1,000. But then as we kept going, we got another grant from Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County, which has actually been a community partnership with us. And it's only because we found out about the grant that they had helping our neighbors grant, which was on their site. Because even though we live in Anne Arundel County, we did not know that the Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County even existed.
We do all this research. Our researchers are out there every single day, and we add about 1,000 new grants a week to the website. It
Oh,
doesn't it doesn't
every
seem
day.
so because, grants expire. Comes,
Mm-hmm.
the deadline arrives and then we archive the grant, but we need to fill up the shelves again, right?
Yes, and
So
there's actually a grant that I came across on GrantWatch, and this one was one of the very best grants because for me, I do a lot of the grant writing, and my sister is in charge of the programs. And this was a grant that had a deadline. And I sat down and I said, you know what? I don't care how sleepy I am. I'm going to write for this grant. And that was with the Nora Roberts Foundation. And
Nora
they,
Roberts, okay.
yes, the Nora Roberts Foundation gave us $3,700.
Now you're moving up. You
Yes.
really are.
Well, with the
E-
Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County, we have written multiple grants with them, and we've gotten over 27,000 dollars from them. And that's, of course, not in one grant, but in multiple grants. But if GrantWatch did not make a way for the very first grant that we did with them, we would have never found out about them. So we owe everything to GrantWatch because that was who made it possible for us to come across this grant. Um,
So proud of you. So proud of you. You established a relationship with that community foundation, and that's why they continue to fund you.
yes, they did.
And
They
that
continue to fund us.
Right. That's so important because some people they get their money, they forget about the foundation, and they don't realize you can go back. You can
Hmm.
continue back if you're running successful programs.
Yes,
You're doing a great job.
thank
Okay, go
you.
on.
So the next grant we got was from Costco Wholesale, which was also from GrantWatch. Of course, Costco, people will never think Costco or Walmart, those places have grants, but I came across all of those grants from GrantWatch. The Walmart Foundation grant. We got a grant from Aldi's. We got a grant from Ironman Foundation,
Iron
you
Man.
know,
Okay.
Ironman Foundation. And we also did some partnership work with Ironman Foundation during COVID, with them providing over 5,000 masks for us to be able to distribute to seniors in different communities here in Maryland.
And I
And
just want to clarify for our listeners, when a foundation or a nonprofit gives you funds or a business, when they give you something, a product, as opposed to funds, we call that in-kind support.
right,
So next time when you write a grant, you can list the in-kind support you've already gotten. That
right,
really shows that you're moving, you're doing, and other people recognize that.
right. And we did the in-kind donations from Iron Mountain Foundation, where they gave us 5,000 masks to distribute, and we were able to give out those masks to different communities around Maryland, in Montgomery County, in Anne Arundel County, in PG County, and so many people appreciated those donations, and those were priceless because we couldn't do the mask, but they were able to give us those masks.
You know, when I saw it coming early on in January, I went on Amazon and I bought masks. I bought 3 boxes of masks, and it was relatively inexpensive at that point. I called
Mhm.
my children and I said, "Can I send you masks?" "No, Ma, you're just getting nervous. There's nothing there." And then months later, it was, "Can you get us masks?" And then I paid. Oh, did I pay? Because it was so expensive.
Yes, I mean, we still have masks to this day because they sent us 5,000 masks.
Well, hopefully you really won't need them.
Well, we need them again, right? Because now they're saying we have to wear masks again.
Oh, no. They're not saying it here in Florida, so thank God for that.
Yes, but another in-kind donations that we were able to get from the website is from Four Imprints, which is called the one-on-one donation, which we also came across on GrantWatch.
And is
So,
that's your most recent one, right?
well, the most recent one is going to be Aldi's and
Okay.
Food Lion.
Okay, so let's do for imprint. What did you get from them?
So with Four Imprints, we actually got school bags, we got pencils, we got pens. So what happened with Four Imprint is we wrote for a grant. However, the grant was denied. Then they sent an email saying, hey, your grant is denied. However, we have some things we can still donate to the organization. Would you like those? And
Oh,
then we
very
said
nice.
yes.
Very nice.
Yes, so that's why you should never give up. And another thing I would like to tell viewers is even when you write for a grant and a grant is denied, you don't give up. Sometimes you can reach out to the organization and say, hey, I wrote for this grant. Is there any points that you can give me? Is there something I did wrong? Is there something I could have done right that would help me in my next grant writing? And those are things that are so important.
I'm glad
Like,
that people are hearing it from you because when we say it, sometimes people they think, they said no, I'm walking away. They're hearing it from you. This is great. Keep
yeah,
going.
so one of the things we've always done is when we get a rejection is we reach out. Sorry to bother you, but we just want to know what did we do right and what did we do wrong? Are there any points you can give us for the next grant that we want to write for? Because we don't want to give up, but it would help us in the next successful grant. So I just want to put that out there to people who write grants and get a denial that it's not a failure. Just keep going.
So tell me about Aldi's.
So all these gave us gift cards. The Aldis grant gave us $25 gift cards, and we were actually able to give those to students and also to some of our seniors. They gave us a total of $500 in gift cards in $25 increments. So we could give it out to people that were in need of doing groceries and things like that.
Okay, and you had one more after that?
So the other grant that we had is the Costco grant that I spoke about.
Right.
And Costco actually only gave us $300
Well, maybe
gift
after they
card.
hear this video, they'll give you more.
Well, baby, but yes, I mean, on the actual website, on the actual grant website, I just want to let you know we have written over 40 grants. And we are always on there looking for grants and everything. However, times can be challenging for nonprofits. It's not always success, success, success. There are times where you go through, storms. And right now is our time because we've been waiting for grants and we've not been getting approvals, but we're still not giving up.
Okay,
And we
so
think there's still
right
hope.
now you're batting 7 out of 40.
Yes.
That's pretty good. Really pretty good. And I think let's tell the viewers how they can reach you because you're doing so much great work. How can they reach you? What's your website?
So we have a website. Our website is www.berosintfoundation.org, and that's BEROSEINT foundation.org.
Okay, so that's how they can reach you. And Rosaline, what's your title at your organization?
I am the executive director and one of the founders.
Great.
There are two founders. The organization was founded by my sister and I. And basically, we're two females trying to do our own share in the world by making the world a better place.
And what's your sister's name?
Her name is Dana Howard.
Okay. And if you had a wish right now for your organization, what would it be?
$1 million check. So for us, because we work out of the country, if we were to get $1 million that we could split maybe between the two countries of Nigeria and Sierra Leone to be able to help in the most vulnerable villages that we work in, we would split that money. We would also be able to do operations. We'll be able to do a lot of projects because we have so many different projects that we partake in, such as the Period Poverty Project, which gives teenage girls accessibility to pads, during their menstrual circle.
Something we take for
Because
granted here in America.
something we take granted for in America. And we also have children who walk 15 to 20 miles to school each and every day.
Let's hope that you continue to do the great work you're doing and that you find many, many more grants on GrantWatch. And I really want to thank you. I think our viewers would be applauding right now if they could. So thank you. Continue it and go from strength to strength.
Thank you for tuning in to Grant Talk, powered by GrantWatch. Tune in next week for a brand new episode. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and subscribe on all your podcast feeds.